Hey guys, how are you? This is Eric Bramlett with Bramlett Partners, and today we are here to discuss the May 2025 Austin Metro real estate market statistics. Hope that everyone is having an amazing start to your summer. I hope that you have some wonderful plans with family or friends. Before we get started, I would like to remind everyone that real estate is hyper-local and hyper-situational. So if we can help you with your specific situation, we would love to help you. If you are a buyer or a seller, please reach out. Or if you're a real estate professional who would like to discuss your situation and business strategy, also please reach out and we'd love to discuss that with you. Moving right along, we will go ahead and dig into the statistics. The May 2025 statistics looked good this month in that they didn't look bad. Total sales were relatively flat. We saw a -2% decline in year-over-year sales. Under contract and pending ticked up slightly. You could also call that flat, with an increase in under contract and pending units of plus 2.9%. Average and median sold price both were very flat, with a very small downtick of average sold price -0.5% and median sold price ticked down by -1.9%. Numbers that were not super encouraging were active listings increasing by 17.5%, average days on market increasing to 71 and a half from 59 the year before, and months of inventory ticked up to 5.4 MOI from 4.2 MOI in 2024. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? It's a joke in the industry that how can it always be a good time to buy and a good time to sell? I prefer to ask the question, is it a safe time to buy or is it a safe time to sell? Looking at the average price and the median price trend line over the previous 13 months, you can see that it is almost completely flat, trended down just ever so slightly. So that does tell me that if you're a buyer, it is a safe time to buy. Average buyer in the Austin metro area stays in their home for 8 years. And if you do stay in your home for 5 or more years, you almost always see a positive return on your investment. Is it a safe time to sell? Well, if you do need to sell your property, you are likely not going to see huge declines in the price this year. We are seeing downward pressure on pricing, so your pricing strategy is incredibly important. But the question of can you sell your home this year? The answer is absolutely. You can sell your home this year with the right marketing strategy and the right pricing strategy. Pending units looked good in the month of May. Before this was the first month that we crossed over and we saw an actual increase in number of pending units versus the year before. As importantly, you can see the seasonal trend line this year is following normal seasonal patterns. What that means is that we are currently in the busiest months of the year and you're going to see straight line decline in pendings until it resets next year whenever we hit the early spring. So if you're on the market right now, just know that you will probably see the most demand from now into the summer and into the early fall. And then you're going to see things really slow down as we get into the school year and we get into the holidays. New listings also follow the same seasonal trends. You'll see the most number of new listings hitting the market in the spring and early summer months. This chart shows that there have been more new listings on the market in 2025 and 2025. When we combine the previous chart with this chart, we can say, yes, there is more supply on the market and demand is relatively flat. So that is going to cause downward pressure on pricing. This is total active listings by month, and you can see that there are quite a few more listings on the market this year. Also, we're going to see seasonal patterns where the most listings are on the market in the summertime, and then we see fewer listings on the market in the wintertime and in the fall, in the late fall and in the early spring. This shows volume in the month of May, and we saw a very slight decline in volume, -2.5% in May 2025 versus 2024. Year-to-date volume is down 7.9%. This shows how much demand is in the market, how many dollars are transacting in Austin this year versus last year. This is a very impactful chart for real estate professionals, as it also shows the commission pie, how much money can we potentially earn, and you can see that that has dropped again this year with a -7.9% decline so far year to date. Leading indicators are what we tend to watch the most, and you can see here that consumer sentiment has declined pretty steeply, and this is due almost entirely to the tariff uncertainty that hit the market in late March and early April. Consumer sentiment can best be understood as the demand for overall consumer goods. How much appetite is there to spend disposable income? Do people want to buy cars? Do they want to go on vacation? And obviously, do they want to buy houses? So whenever consumer sentiment is high, it means people are confident in the market and they're more likely to go out and spend money. When consumer sentiment is low, it means that people are not confident in the market and they're more likely to save money rather than go out and buy new cars, new homes, and take vacation. The fear and greed index is something that CNN puts out daily, and it reacts really quickly. So in late March, early April, it actually was in extreme fear for a few weeks. It then moved to fear, then moved to neutral, and it's been in greed or neutral for the past month. The reason that affects the real estate market is that whenever the stock market performs well, people's 401k people feel confident that they can make a large purchase like a home. So we do hope to continue to see greed in the stock market. That is a good indicator. Indeed.com job postings. So we have looked at this now for 3 years and we've waited to find the bottom. And it looks as though we have found the bottom. You can see now that on the 13-month chart, the trend line is actually pointing up. That doesn't mean that we have seen a recovery in the job market. It only means that the job market is no longer in decline. When we back this out and we look at January 2022, you can see that there was a very steep decline for almost 2 years. And then it has flattened out since roughly July. And now we've just sort of been skipping across the bottom. It looks as though around 100,000 job posting per month on Indeed is sort of the baseline. And so we think that we'll stay there until we see a job market recovery. And we need to see jobs come back and we need to see mortgage rates decline in order for Austin's real estate market to come back in earnest. Until we see those two things become positive, we will probably see a sluggish real estate market. Mortgage rates. This is the other piece of the puzzle that we need to see improve. And this is January 1st to present. You can see that we've seen almost no movement in mortgage rates. Mortgage rates started out the year north of 7%. That's why we had such a sluggish start to the year. Dipped below 7%, has remained there almost entirely since February. But we've been in the high sixes for this entire period. And we really need to see rates get down into the 6.75 range, down to the 6.5% range before we'll start seeing more buyers get off of the fence. Again, doesn't mean that things are going to get worse, only that we'll probably not see things improve until we see rates decline. And then obviously whenever we see jobs come back as well, that is whenever we will see things begin to improve in earnest. This is a statement from a friend of mine, Mike Delpreti, really great guy. And he says, the question to ask is, no matter what the market conditions are, what can I do to be successful? I would say that this is great advice for buyers, it's great advice for sellers, and it's also great advice for real estate professionals. There's nothing we can do about the market. We can only change how we react to the market. So if you're a buyer, you want to have specific strategies for your specific submarket. If you're a seller, you also need to be very keyed in to your specific submarket, and you need to come up with a strategy that's going to work for you in that submarket. And obviously, if you're a real estate professional, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a mortgage professional, if you're in title, then you need to make sure that you have a strategy that's going to help you get through this sort of tough time. We're here to help with that. So reach out to us if we can help in any way at all. We'd love to learn what your goals are. We'd love to learn how you want to get there, and we'd love to learn how we can help. I'm Eric Bramlett. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I hope that you have an amazing day today. I hope that you have amazing weekend plans planned. And if I can help you in any way at all, please reach out. My contact information is in the description below. Thanks so much.